So, for our last and final episode on organization tonight, we left off with creating our Excel spreadsheet. If you decide that, okay, I don't want to write everything down and I want to use my computer or my phone and yada yada, fine. What you need to do on your spreadsheet, let me pull mine up. I don't want y'all to see mine. So if I can remember correctly, because I'm not sure this technology if it's gonna show you at the same time or not. What you do here is you're gonna take your income or whatever you make by the month, and you're gonna put that number in there. So say your income is I don't know, McDonald's. All right, I make 2,000 a month, right? That's your income. Next, you're gonna skip a few blocks down and write down expenses. This means all your monthly expenses. After you write those down, then you're gonna, of course, take the income minus expenses. Now you know what you got left. And whatever you have left after all of your expenses, all right, well, that's the money you got to work with towards your goal of paying off that 20K within have a month or whatever time frame we chose. And then the last tab after December, you're gonna put keeping score. I'm gonna have to pull this up and I showed. I want y'all to see mine. Let me see if I can find an old one to pull up. Um, okay, it's gonna take a while, so we'll have to do keeping score another time. Wait. Let's see. Might have found one. Nope, that was my Airbnbs. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I found one. All right, so score, meaning we're going to start with, let's just say you have, let's see, can I? All right, guys, I have to get tech savvy and figure out how to show it to you. But next time I come on, we'll pull up a screen and see what that looks like. But the score basically says, where are you financially? In other words, it's a balance statement on yourself, your assets versus liabilities. A lot of us don't have any assets. We don't have a business. We don't have a home. We don't have any equity. We don't have any stocks. We don't have any bonds. I mean, we don't have anything but the cash that we make. Well, hey, guess what? You go to work every day, so it's a start. Now, let's see here. Okay, so here's one we want to talk about in this episode. Here is controlling time and why. Many of us are what's the word? Plets by the clock. Many of us are pushed by the clock. We are not in control of our time, especially if you have a job. You're definitely not in control of your time. If you have a business, well, y'all already know they super not in control of their time. Well, actually, they are. They are in control of their time and they actually have less of it than the one that works. But controlling your time is important. And controlling your time or control of your time is going to come with you learning how to organize your life, how to prioritize your responsibilities, how to you keeping up with that spreadsheet is going to allow more freedom of time in and of itself. So now you're spending less time reacting to situations versus spending more time to being proactive in situations. Excuse me. Uh, Cleaning of the home. That's a part of organization that we didn't list. Outside of our financial organization, you got cleaning up your home. Some of us don't have clean homes. Me, I like to clean my house when I feel compelled to do so, which is typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm waving a flag so certain people know where that comes from. Tuesdays and Thursdays definitely the day to do your house. But anyways, your house needs to breathe. Let all your doors open so you can let all the imps out. We know what those are for some of us. Same thing with your vehicle. Keep it clean. Go ahead and air it out. When your car and your house is clean, you're able to think better. Same thing when you go to the gym or you go run, you're able to clear out your mind as well. I'm Y'all already know what my faith stands, so I'm not all into the chakras and the movements and the energy and all that jazz. But these things are still a part of your life. And in order to get your finances organized, you need to get your internal organized as well. Um, whether it be praying and fasting with God. I'm not talking about some social media fast or some trending fast or just starving yourself for the sake of starving yourself. I mean, unless you're trying to lose weight, that's a whole nother story. But we are talking about praying, fasting, staying clean. Do we get dirty? Yes, that's why you have to get clean. So we're not here to talk about sin and going to heaven and all of those things. What we are talking about in terms of organization is organizing within ourselves, making sure that your clothes are clean, making sure that your hair is clean, just all around. Here's another part of our organization. What we often overlook: our logins, our internet footprint. Clean it up. And guess what? When we were talking about going through the paperwork, within those emails, within that paperwork, you start to find some loose ends, or you start to find something to tug at that might just reveal and open to you. Oh, the answer's been here the whole time. Uh, some of you have settlements you haven't followed up with. Here's a good one. I had a motorcycle and I had this insurance on it that I got when I got the motorcycle. And I was so excited to get the bike. Of course, you're just going through the process and like, you want this, you want that, yeah, give it all to me. Just let me get my bike and go home, right? And this is at a later part of the game. And I remember when I sold the bike, it took me going through the paperwork to realize, oh, I still have unused insurance months on this thing. I still have a lot of time left on this thing, because I had paid the bike off super early. So the insurance is still good for like, I don't know, a year or two. But anyways, I was able to call them, get the insurance canceled, and get a refund of the remaining months that was left. That's some money that we would have let slip by if we never had a win and looked at it. Okay, the bike is gone. I'm going to throw everything away that's attached to the bike. No, 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 no. Go look at what you signed. A lot of the things that we sign, whether it's at work, some of us have you've been to jobs and yeah, I just want the job. So you go to sign, and don't even know because again, we're just looking at the money we got at the end of the day, right? We're not looking at, oh, mine went over here to this SLIC 43BK, examination fee, and what is that? I don't know. I just made that up. The point of this is you need to do the menial things, or I like what TDJ say, the little things. Sometimes there's and one of the most powerful lessons I've gotten, which was from Warren Buffett, and he said, and I put this in my book. I'm gonna tell y'all what the book is later when I get a copy of it so I can hold it up in the video. He said, if I were to give you a punch card and told you that you're gonna only make 5 investment decisions over your whole life, he said, how carefully would you think about those decisions? And that made me think, and it still does, because what that does is it reduces clutter. It reduces you making rash decisions. That's what that do. That's what that does. Also, very important, you being clean and you being organized also allows for new ideas and possibilities you might not have considered before. Uh, everything when you set this intention that, okay, I'm going to get out of debt, everything that you kind of do from there for revolves around getting out of debt. Now, what a lot of us have fallen into, including myself, many, many, many times, is you get out of debt and then it's like, okay, now what? Now what? And we'll have to deal with that monster in a later episode. But okay, so we talked about so our key takeaways. Let's do that. So we're not rambling. Our key takeaways. Let's write that down. First, we're gonna put cleanliness. Second, we're gonna put prioritize. Third, we're gonna put shutting out the noise. Oh, that's gonna be a good one when that podcast comes. Shutting out the noise. Um, I heard Steve Jobs say it. I forgot how he put it, but I know he said, I want to say 80% of the time should be spent on doing the important thing. However, it's 80% of the time that the distraction is coming through. If that's not what he said, that's exactly what he meant. In other words, the important thing that we have to do, whatever that may be, it might not just be paying off that. That was for me in my life. I don't, yours might be going to school. Some of us, we just want a bachelor's degree, but for whatever reason, we haven't been able to accomplish that because of the noise that's in our life. And let me tell you now, the noise is only going to get louder. Noise, what does that look like? Well, it could look like children, friends, trips, the cell phone, work. I mean, you name it. You name it. The people in traffic. You trying to get to the store to go get you some gas, give it, and somebody trying to interrupt you to ask for some money. The noise is all day, every day. Your job in becoming focused about the intentions you've set are only going to come if you are able to shut out the noise. It's the noise, the TV. That's one of the biggest pieces of noise that's out there. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Whatever. Hey, you can turn this off, listen to it, pause it, play it, replay it, do however you want to do it. I'm just going with you now. The TV. I remember a lady, she was telling me about some ideas she had, and what she wanted to do and this and that. But then when she found out I didn't watch TV, she was like, oh my God, it was such a shock. And I'll never forget one thing this person said in college. This professor, he say, um, does anybody remember the last Lamborghini commercial? And I'm only paraphrasing this. And we were all like, no, we never thought about it. He said, because rich people don't watch TV. Now, everybody could contend with the old ways versus the new ways, what may work then, what may work for you. But I like the way my friend Robert McBride back in high school said, he said, hey, man, it's about what worked for you. Me and him was trying to talk to this girl, and we it was the same girl, and we both plotting on how we're gonna approach her. And I'm like, hey man, how did you what did you say to her? He said, man, it don't matter what I said, you gotta go for yourself. I said, what you mean? He saying, what I said to her might work for me, but it might not work for you. You got to do what worked for you. You understand? And I held on to that since high school. But we were talking about watching TV. Now I have a TV now, um, and trust me, it has been a nuisance and a pain in the behind because it is such a distraction, right? And in most of our lives, it's a welcome distraction. I didn't want to get turned on to TikTok, Instagram, none of that. I stayed away from social media forever, even with this podcasting, videos, YouTube, all of it, until, of course, one day I end up getting sucked in, and I said, oh my God, okay. I knew this was going to happen. It's going to put this drain on your life. Now it's a trend to get off social media. Now it's a fast to get off social media. But hey, I'm not here to bash social media. What I am here to bash is the noise. Understand? You have friends calling you with, some of us are. Here's some of my guys. Right now, some of y'all are probably, y'all got these females you talk to, and You're out in your car late at night with a bottle of alcohol and your feet kicked up, as we call it, Duncan Hines, caking, talking to a chick all night long about absolutely nothing, and it's going to continue because you got to keep on the line until you get what you want from her, and then after you get what you want from her, just like a flower, you got to continue to water her, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to continue to put in some work with with her and whatever else part of the flock you got. You know, you're gonna have to continue to do that. And that's going to be a big noise. Now, to a person with no goal, to a person with no mission in life, that's fine. Because guess what? One thing I did put in here, and one thing you're gonna learn is, baby, you get on this mission. Let me tell you something. Uh, 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 you're gonna start losing pleasures. I know it's not something we really have people are really discussing, and maybe they are. I don't know, but one thing I didn't know what was gonna happen, and let's just say a mission for a better life, right, or what you thought might have been a better life, especially financially, and that is it's gonna lead to a loss of pleasures. It's gonna be some things that you lose pleasure at doing simply because you're trying to elevate only to elevate and then find out you don't even know what it is you like to do anymore. You're gonna have to rediscover that about yourself. For the first time, you might get bored. And this for those who are aren't ever bored. This is for those people. Those who aren't ever bored because you always been mission driven. That's cool. Or you just got mission driven. The funny thing I like to find out about people is some of y'all got friends in your life, they're gonna say, man, it don't take all that. Oh, I ain't heard from you in 5, 6 days. Uh what kind of focus you talking about doing? But get what? When it's they turn and they get themselves a mission, all of a sudden they ready to ghost you, now they understand all of a sudden, right? So I'm going ahead and tell you now how to deal with that. Don't let them interfere with your mission, whatever it is. Don't let the noise interfere. And we're gonna categorize that with friends, family, anything and anybody that's outside of your will and what it is you're trying to do for your life. Uh, no sir, no sir, no. No is a hard word to learn, but it's the best word to learn. No, no, no. You understand? Anyways, we were just running on the game here. I like the way my sister put it one time. She say, you like the person that you beat the game already and still playing. I said, golly, that hit me hard. You know, think about it, right? Let's just say you accomplished the goal, right? You get out of debt in 1 year instead of three. You know what you do? You go back again. You play it again, and you be like, okay, well, what am I playing for? Is the question you have to ask yourself. Maybe the income or the job or however you make your money, maybe it ain't so bad. Maybe it's just the fact you can't keep any money from it. You know what I mean? Which is a whole nother conversation in and of itself, because then you have to go. Then we have to go and talk about savings accounts and how that really don't even exist, anyways. But hey, before we get there, I just wanted to delve off a little bit and kind of give you, some freestyle. I love freestyle, but part of our key takeaways, remember, figure out how much came in, how much went out. Last but not least, I wrote this down for our notebook, our 2, 3, 4, 5 subject notebook. Needs versus wants. It's very important. I take me a page and I split it in half. And on the left side, I write needs. On the right side, I write wants. This is what I've been doing for over 20 years. Let me tell you, needs used to be a page long and wants was like 3 pages long, right? Now needs is zero for the most part. I mean, it pretty much stays at like 1 to 2, and it's stuff. Yeah, I need it, but not really. But there's a verse in the Bible that helped me with that. Look, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I know what it says sometimes. And it said, as long as the eyes can see, you will always want something. That's what it said. And basically, what that means is as long as you're in this flesh, you're going to always desire something. Your job is to figure out, do I really need this thing? Do I desire? And do I really want this thing I desire? Which one is it? So here's a need. Toothpaste. Matter of fact, let me go to my own. It ain't as long as it used to be, but I have some on here so I can give you an example. Let's see. Okay. Here's a need. Look, hold on. Should I show you? Yeah. So you can see real quick. Somebody screenshot and try. Yeah, look at what he had. No, not me. All right. Need running shoes. Do I need running shoes? Yes. But guess what? I have running shoes. So I really need them. Well, I know they're gonna come up. They're coming up, but I mean, hey, the shoes, the soles aren't falling off, so I haven't bought them. So I'll leave them on the needs list. You know. Now look at this. A motorcycle. What do you think that's at? It's on the want list. Do I want to? Do I need a motorcycle? Of course not. Do I want one? Yes, I do. I do. I also put a jewelry set. Um, we ain't even gonna talk about this. But a jewelry set. Um, do I need a jewelry set? No. Am I gonna die without some jewelry? No. Am I gonna die without running shoes? No. But do I need running shoes? Yes. If you're gonna be exercising, you need to be good to yourself. You know, don't mistreat yourself. Pajamas. Do I need pajamas? Not really. I don't even sleep in pajamas anyway. I don't know if that's TMI, but hey, I mean, I'm here to be real with y'all as much as possible. And then, last but not least, this on my needs list, I have tanks for the gym. Now, I like the way one of the original guys out there who I like to give a shout out to, if he ever sees this, is a guy named Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed wrote The Art of Mac, and I read the book. It was a pretty good book. But before that, he had something called Mac Lessons Radio, which was wonderful. I hate that he got away from it, but people grow, move on, and learn and soar. So going back to Tyreke, I remember him saying something about Dollar General and how when we get paid, you want to go, first thing you're doing is running to Dollar General. You run in here, you run in there, you run in here, you run in there. And it's little charge at the little charge at the little charge at the little charge. I will next remind me, and I have to put this down now. Well, I already know this is coming up. We're going to be shred our debit card. That's going to be one of the hardest exercises we do, is shredding our debit card. And look, I don't have any way for y'all to contact me just yet, but if you watch it and you have some questions, hey man, I'm gonna put some email in the channel to where you all can reach out and email me some questions so I can remember to come back to some of this stuff. But anyways, so here recently I decided, you know what? And this is something a lot of, especially your Sam's Club members have done. They buy in bulk. I don't want to buy too much in bulk, but I decided those needs that kept popping up like this: soap, cocoa butter, bleach, laundry detergent, towels, Epsom salt, toothpaste, stuff like that, right? Toiletries, all of that. It stayed on the needs list at some point. It's like, all right, I'm having to go to the dollar store, dollar store, dollar store. You know what, man? Hey, you need to start assessing, how much am I gonna need? How much soap am I gonna need? How much soap lasts me? You start figuring this stuff out. I'm like, all right, I'll just buy it in bulk. It doesn't have to, you don't need to go get no membership at Sam. Just go ahead and pay the price at Dollar General or wherever else. You don't the key here is going to be to cut out as many monthly expenses as possible. That's going to be one of the biggest keys to, let's just say, a better lifestyle. Again, it's a lot of us make enough money. Some of us don't. Some of us, we need some help. I mean, if you're in high school, you're just in high school. You're a college student. You're just a college student. I mean, you really can't expect too much if that's how you're gonna get the money now. And we haven't got into business investments or nothing like that, but we just talking about from linear income, day-to-day income, hourly income, how much are you making, and is it enough? You know, I like what Jordan Peterson, the famed psychologist, said. He said one time, he say, really don't need more than 60,000 a year. And trust me, he rang a true statement with that one. Now, listen, And let's just say you make 60,000. I mean, nobody told you to go stay in a $5,000 a month high rise condo. I just don't understand it. You know, you don't have to stay where in the most undesirable of situations, but there's some affordable situations on the better parts of town. You're gonna have to go seek it out, and that's just that. Uh, I don't want you to get fatigued, so I'm gonna end this one here. And until next time, my friends, I hope you caught some of the puzzle pieces I've given you tonight. I hope you can use what I've given you tonight. And until next time, my friends.